Hello friends, welcome back to another video session from Shomu's Biology. Here we have been talking about the arithmetic aptitude problems, and today we want to talk about problems on average and calculations on average and how to calculate average. So we'll first talk about the different ways to calculate average, the numbers, and average for exactly for different cases we'll see. Now let's begin. Now, first thing we want to understand about some important formula, how to calculate average from different scenarios. And for that, let me take a color. One thing I want to tell you here, mainly the questions that are asked in most of the government exams and as well as GATE and NET exams, that they ask average associated question from age related questions and as well as for speed. So average, the idea of average is linked with either speed or age of a person that we want to calculate. These are the two things that usually we can try. Now if it's about the speed, now normally the first thing if we want to talk about average, and the question is what is average? Average is, it means the sum of observation, the sum of observation divided by the number of observation. That's what average is all about. So if I give you the idea about 2, 6, 8, 10 and tell you to make an average of this number, what you should do is add all of them together to get their sum and divide it by the total number, which is in this case 4, to get me the answer. That's what average is all about. So if this idea of average, we mostly want to talk about speed and age. Okay, and let's talk about the speed first then. Now to find out the average speed, how to go with it. Like for example, a person travels a specific distance, a speed of x kilometer per hour. Okay, and the same distance at a speed of y kilometer per hour. Okay, then the average speed, now for example the same distance traveled by the person 1 sometime is x kilometer per hour, in other case y kilometer per hour. Now the question is, what is the average speed through the whole journey? For example, the person is moving from point A to point B. While the person was going, the speed was x kilometer per hour. While he is coming back, the speed was y kilometer per hour. Now the question is, what is the average speed traveled by this person from A to B and B to A, the complete journey? So in that case, to calculate this average, we simply write as 2xy divided by x plus y. You remember that. Okay, this is a formula, and actually there are too many things and I don't want to talk about the basic formula, but this is one of the formula that you may need to solve problems. Another formula is that if a person covers a kilometer at a speed of x kilometer per hour, okay, b kilometer distance traveled in y kilometer per hour, and c kilometer distance is traveled by z kilometer per hour. Three separate distances traveled by separate velocities. Now the average speed you need to calculate. So how to calculate the average speed in this case? The average speed in this case will be a plus b plus c, that means the total distance traveled by the person, divided by, for each of the section, that is the total distance traveled by the speed, that is x. The total distance traveled b by the speed, in that case y. Total distance c by the speed, that is z. So this is going to be the average speed for the person in case of separate distance traveled with separate speed. But if separate speed is taken for same distance, the formula is 2xy by x plus y. Remember that. That's for the speed. Cleared out the board so that we can understand the second part quite well. And remember, the second part we want to talk about the age related average. Okay, so age associated average problems, I'm not going to, as I told you, I'm not going to talk about the basics one, but one type of questions is always there. Let's say there are 4 people out there, 4 people, and their average age is 22 years. They are already told you, and then they told that you add one person there, and their average age is transferred from 22 years to 25 years. So the question is, what is the age of that new person which is added? So in this case, you need to find out the age of new person that is added. To find out that, you simply write it as age of separated person, the total age of the separated persons that are provided, plus the increased average age, okay, whatever average age was there, that is 22 to 25. So in this case, the increased average age is 25 years, into the total number of person or people, that is in this case 5. This is how you will find out the age of the new person that is added. Now this is a scenario, this is the formula, it will work if the average age is increased. Now the question is, similarly, after adding a person, the average age goes down to 17 years. So the average age is decreased. So obviously the new person added obviously has a less year or less age. In this case, if the average is increased, so you'll know that the new person added should have a higher age than the average age, right? That's the basic idea you will get. So if you need to find out the average age of the new person, similarly, but in this case, while the average age is decreased, then how you'll find it out? In that case, you'll write it down as age of separated person minus the decreased age in average into the total number of person. That will be the formula. Okay. So this is a simple way to think of the two different types of question that most of the times are provided associated with age. One is velocity related, another one is age related. But the question is actually it will be average question, but from this part. So let's further do, let's talk about the some mathematical problems from this part. Let's look at the example number 1. What will be the average of 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17? So if you look at here, average of 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17, there is a simple, this is the simplest problem. Most probably you will not get this problem either in your bank exams or all those exams, because it's too small and too easy. The idea to solve this, one simplest way to solve is add all them together and divide it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get the answer. But actually there is a shortcut way to do that. I incorporate this question because I want to show you the shortcut way. And the shortcut way here in this case, when you have odd number of digits or odd number of numbers, and they are listed in a sequence. You see 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is a direct sequence that's provided. In that case, if you have an odd number, then the middle number is always the average. So in this case, the average undoubtedly will be 15. Even if you try to add them together and divide it with 5, you'll also end up with 15. That's going to happen, because that is the idea. Now if you move to the second question, similar type of question, that again you have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Again, this is in the continuous series, direct series that's provided. But in this case, it's not an odd number, it's an even number. So if you find an even number, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So even numbers, 6 different numbers are there. So to calculate the average for a even number series like this, you simply take the two middle numbers. In this case, the two middle is 15 and 16, and simply calculate the average of this two middle number, and you'll get the average of the complete series quite easily. In this case, it's 15 plus 16 divided by 2, so it will give you like 31 by 2 or 15.5. So you can calculate that yes, the average for this whole series will be 15.5. These are the simplest way to solve these basic questions. So let's look at this question. The average of 5 numbers is 29. If one number is excluded, the average becomes 27. What is the excluded number? Now remember, we just saw a similar type of problem just while talking about the different formula for this average. We talked about persons and the combination of numbers for persons, but the thing is almost very similar. Now for this type of questions, how to solve it? Now the question says that the average of 5 number is 29. And if one number is excluded, the average becomes 27. So simple. The idea is, the average of 5 number is 29. And it says the average of some numbers is 27. How many numbers? It says one number is excluded. So instead of 5, if we exclude 1, it gives you 4. So average of 4 numbers are 27. So you need to calculate which number is excluded. It's quite easy to solve, because if you think average of 5 numbers is 29, so obviously you can write like 29 into 5. That is going to give you the total number that's provided there. Average of 5 number is 29. So if you add all the numbers together, it will give you the value of 29 into 5. That's going to give you the idea about the total number added. Minus if you simply do 27 into 4. Now in this case 27 is the average of the rest of the 4 numbers. So the total numbers added for those will be 27 into 4. From there you are going to get the value, and that value is the number which is excluded, right? So 29 into 5 gives us 145, minus 27 into 4 gives us 1108. So if we subtract that value, it is going to give us 37. So 37 is the number which is excluded to contain and make the average. Let's move to the next question. Find the average of first 20 multiplies of 5. 520 multiples actually. In this case, it's a very linear question. So to solve this question, you need to know one basic thing. It says you need to find the average of first 20 multiples of 5. First 20 multiples of 5. So multiples of 5 means 5 into 1, 5, 5 into 2, 10. This is the way. And such 20 such multiples you need to find out the average. Now if you want to do it the simplest way, that counting the 20 and add them together, divide with the 20 to get the answer, that is very dumb and that will take a long time. So the easiest way to solve, to think of the sum of the n natural numbers. Sum of n natural number is always n into n plus 1 divided by 2. That's the value. Remember that always. Sum of first n natural numbers, n into n plus 1 by 2. So from here we simply know that we can find it that we are, instead of n, we know it's 20 numbers, because the sum of first 20. So n is 20 here. So simply if we put the value of n here, 20 plus 1 by 2. So it's 21 into 20. It's going to give us the simplest value. 21 into 20 is going to give us 420 divided by 2 is going to give us 210. So 210 is the value. 210 is the sum of 20 multiples of 5. That's the value, 210. And we know there are 20 such numbers and we need to find the average. So we find out the sum, and now we know the number of observations. So sum is 210, number of observations we already know, that is 20, and you simply get the value of 10.5 as the correct answer. You see, this is quite easy to solve and quite fast to solve. It will not take more than 15 to 20 seconds to solve. Okay, let's say this example says the average of 5 positive integers is 55.8. If average of first two integers is 49 and the average of fourth and fifth integers are 69.5, then find the third integer. Now it's going to say you about the average values, and whenever something says about average and the number is given, so you can easily calculate the sum, isn't it? So it says the average of 5 integers, positive integers obviously, is 55.8. So from here you can calculate the sum. How? It says 5 integers and the average is 55.8. So the sum will be 55.8 into 5 is going to give you the value of 279. That's the sum. Again it says that the average of first two integers is 49. So average of first two integers are 49. So again you can calculate that easily. 49 into 2 It's going to give us 98. Then it says the average of fourth and fifth integers is 69.5. So how many integers are there? Fourth and fifth, so obviously two integers. It will give you 69.5. It's going to give you 69.5 into 2. That's the value of 139. Now what you need to find out the third number, because you already know the fourth and fifth, you already know the first two. So 1, 2, 4 and fifth are known. So obviously you left up with the third number. So what's the third number? How to find out the third number? You know the sum of 5 numbers, which is this one, sum of 5 numbers. This is the sum of only 2. This is the sum of other 2. So obviously if you subtract the value of these two numbers, that is 98 plus 139, from the sum of 5 numbers, that is 279, you are going to get the third number quite easily. So here we are going to get the value of just let me calculate once, and it's going to give us one. So it's going to give us 42. That's how you get the value. So the third number was 42. The average salary of 20 employees in a company per month is 6,000. If the salary of managers added, then the salary is increased to 6,500. The average salary is increased to 6,500 obviously. What would be the salary for the manager? Okay. Now again, for solving this, what we need to know, the average salary of the company is given, that is 6,000. Okay. When added one number salary, so how many employees were there? For 25 employees, that is true. Now the question, we are adding one more employee, that is the manager. Okay. So adding one more employee, but the salary expectation, the average salary is becoming 6,500. So what you can write about it? We can write about that there are 25 people, each with average 6,000 salary. That was the total revenue for that company, right? And now what we know, the average salary becomes 6,500 and the total number becomes 26, because 25 employees plus the manager, so 26. That becomes more. Obviously this salary is more than this. So what we need to find out, the remaining salary. So do the difference between these two. So you're going to find out the salary once added with the manager's salary, it becomes much higher. In this case, it's going to give us 3 zeros, 169. So 169,000 minus the earlier salary, it's simply 150. So 150,30. So that is the difference. So 19,000 is the difference between the salary added before the manager was there and after the manager salary is added. So the salary for the manager will be 19,000. That's that easy to solve this question. Okay. Let's look at the last problem, that the average marks of 13 students is 40. The first 6 students is 30 and that of the last 6 students 32. Find out the value of the 7th number. And this is quite common of the last question that we solved. Just one question before we solve a question typical like that. So what we need to find out, if this is the 7th number, we want to find out the number of the 7 students, it will be equals to the total marks of 13 students there, okay, minus the total marks of the first 6 students plus the total marks of last 6 students. Isn't that? Because the first and last 6 students are going to give us the 12 students and their marks, and we know the total marks of 13 students. So subtract it from there, we are going to get the marks of the 7th student. So here the total marks of 13 students, because it says the average is 40. So average is 40, there are 13 students, so you get these marks 14 into 13 minus the total marks of first 6 students. It gives the 30, the average of the first 6 students is 30. So 30 was the average for first 6 students, plus again 32 was the average for last 6 students. Here we go, and we can easily find out now. So 14 into 13 is going to give us 520 minus the values we are going to get 180 plus here 192. So simply 520 minus 180 minus 192, the values we are going to get it from there, and that's going to give us, let me do the calculations a little bit, it's going to definitely give us 8 over in hand and was going to 414. So 148, 148 is the marks obtained by the 7th students. So I think by far you understood a simple idea that whatever value is given and as average, and if you know the number, multiplying them together will give you the sum. This is the most important idea, because average means sum by the number. So whenever there is, you need to calculate sum, simply multiply average with number, and that's going to solve a lot of problems associated, very similar problems like that. So that's quite of it for the average associated problems. I hope you helped this video, and if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel to get more, and also share this video with your friends. Thank you.